actually looking real well lit on the camera, but overall it's pretty dark. Let me kind of zoom back to give you a realistic old Taco Bell. Ta-da, the Blue Store. And here we are, San Antonio, Texas, with Cedric.
All hell's about to break loose.
Yeah. Here's my buddy Cedric and I, right after a good dinner. Hello, sports fans. Ralph Luck here, coming to you from Northwest San Antonio in the parking lot of a U-Haul. I am up in the queen size bed. It's the exact same measurements of the slide out, but because I am in a U-Haul parking lot and going to stay here for the night, I'm not going to use the slide out to be in the way and impose more than I am. So let me tell you what's going on. So I am in the above the front two seats in this bed. Got the window open. You could hear the freeway right next door. Always near a freeway. Good Wi-Fi. But what happened is, I had noted that for a couple of months, and I've let this drag, my trailer, my tow dolly U-Haul trailer, the headlights were working, but not the brake or blinkers. So when I used them on the RV, they weren't going through. Let's see how many times this happens. There, hopefully I won't be blown over again. Let me take these off. So, I've noted that the blinkers, brake lights weren't working for some time. Now, haven't really traveled that much during the day. I should have addressed it. I've looked at different places for a new wiring harness and this and that, but my friend in Phoenix said he didn't believe that there was any circuit at the rear part of the RV where a trailer goes in for the blinkers and brake lights. So I knew that I'd have to get it fixed eventually. Was always very careful pumping my brakes to flash when I was going to stop. Making sure I turned on my RV blinkers far in advance, making sure that people saw me, were slowing down, but it was still a dangerous thing and technically an infraction of the law. But for me, more the concern is dangerous. Your equipment should be working. So as I left my buddy, as we had dinner last night by his home in San Antonio, some okay Mexican food, I was disappointed. I was expecting like awesome 4.5 rating for hundreds of reviews, and just was okay. Anyway, heading out of town today. My plan was stop by the U-Haul, see about that blinker issue, head up north towards Austin, Texas to hit the Buc-ee's. Never been before and I want to go. I've seen lots of videos. Happily Ever Hanks has a couple of good ones. And also, let's see where I was going to head. Camping World to check out. I was going to call them on the way, see about an oil change for the RV, and end up at a Walmart in Austin. So my parking situation isn't that great, but I had planned on driving an hour and 45 minutes. That would get me that much closer to my 19-hour total trip to South Carolina at Mount Rushmore. So that would have just been, eating away at an elephant, one bite at a time, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, maybe stopping for a couple of nights if there's a good location. Who knows? I haven't looked that far ahead. So, unfortunately, my RV, when I went to start it to leave the U-Haul, wouldn't go out of park. So the first thing I thought was, well, the guy came with the fuse test kit to the back RV trailer, found that the blinkers weren't working. I wonder if in doing something, he tripped a fuse. I mean, what else would it be? Now, the second thing that went in my mind is you have to press on the brake to take it out of park. So I know that there is wiring and a switch or fuse of some sort, solenoid, that goes from the brake pedal to like the engine. That could go bad, or it could bust out or have a loose connection, who knows. So those are the first two things I thought. I called around. I did get a good recommendation from an mobile RV repair guy that said, hey, this isn't technically anything to do with the RV. You should just call and try to find an automotive mobile repair guy, because I wasn't having any luck with RV guys. Now, the other option is tow the vehicle in tonight, but where would I tow it? To the Ford dealer? And then I get there and they're like, oh, we don't handle RVs. You need to take it to Camping World. Camping World tell me, oh, we don't have anybody to look at it for a week. And so I'm like, okay, if I'm going to tow it, I'm going to wait till tomorrow, because U-Haul said I could stay the night. And they're leaving a note for their morning crew. So I did talk to an automotive mobile guy who started saying he might be able to make it out tonight, but then decided tomorrow would be better, because if he needed that brake part or other parts besides a simple fuse, he'd have to wait till the Ford dealer opened tomorrow anyway. So I'm okay with that. I could stay here at night, kind of killed my travel plans. But here I am for the night. He did walk me through some different things. Today is actually, during this process, is when I verified that my RV brake lights were not working. I never noticed an issue with them. I don't remember specifically checking them for a while. So who knows how long they've been out. Shame on me for that. But the RV brake lights were out. So then I went and thought, well, the only thing I touched under the engine hood was a few 10 amp fuses. So I switched a few of those around. One for one, even though none looked burnt out. I thought, well, let me switch a few. Maybe that'll change things. Well, it sure did. Sure changed things all right, Ralph. Jump back in to start things up, and the lights go on and everything, and nothing. Not even a crank. Absolutely nothing. I've got headlights. I can roll down my windows. I've got a good battery. And just in case, I hit the button under the driver's seat that then connects the starter to the two back house batteries, which I know are great at 100%. I heard the little click, tried to start it, nothing. I went up under the engine. I disconnected the battery thinking, hey, it's kind of like a computer. Maybe it needs to be reset. Again, I thinking the brake lights were working then, so I must have done something to blow them. I don't know. So we'll see tomorrow, and I'll keep you informed. Oh, the guy saw my shirt, RVing with luck, of course, and he said, well, you're not too lucky today, are you? I said, hey, as I always tell my subscribers and my audience, good or bad, when I'm here, you're always lucky. Could be good luck, could be bad luck. Today is some bad luck. So I wanted to give you an update after the repair guy left. He got here 10 a.m. Texas time. He was running late and said he didn't realize it was so far away, 35 minutes. Anyway, he got here, seemed like a really nice professional guy. Again, he got here about 10 a.m. Texas time. I think I repeated myself. Anyway, I'm gonna work on getting my tripod, because this is the worst possible angle to film me from. And if you hear meows in the background, it's Ninja wanting to go outside from where we're at, which should be in another video. So he got here, same situation, put on his diagnostic equipment, and whatever I did tripped, I guess, the security anti-theft system. And I did see that icon on there that I had never seen before when I attempted to turn it over and crank it. Apparently I tripped that. He said, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this or if it's going to need to go to the deal, or I'll see what I can do. So I appreciated that, crossed my fingers and said a prayer, literally. After all said and done, next thing I know, 45 minutes later, he's starting the engine, says it goes into gear, and then I go back there and I check the brake lights on the RV. They're working now. On the trailer, brake lights and blinkers are working. It's amazing. He said, number one, what caused the initial issue is something with the brake sensor to the engine came out of adjustment, or I don't know, where it wasn't registering the brake being pushed, so it wouldn't let you take it out of park. It makes sense. Luckily, he didn't have to replace that component. Would have been more expensive. By the way, starting off with a $100 diagnostic fee. That's just like an initial cursory, here's what I think the problem is, and diagnose it. And then the dollars start rolling after that. So after everything's said and done, well, first off, he said, and I'm probably messing this up, it's a 3 initial component. The TCM, TCB, TRB, TRP, ICB, IBM, ADT, I don't remember. But it's basically the computer brains to the vehicle. Now, when I was at Discount Tire to do some work, they said, oh, you'll have to get this done, that component thing for what I wanted, which I never got done. But they said I have to take that to the Ford dealer. So I was aware that the Ford dealers pretty much the only ones that could do this. Well, he spent some time reading through his diagnostic stuff and going online. And I'm sure he has better access than just a Google search. But he was able to reset it, reprogram it. And then he said, I noticed you're completely missing 2 10-amp fuses. I'm like, yeah, that's probably the auto body shop that did the repair last year, because I'm finding out little things here and there that they didn't exactly do right. But thus I digress. So he put those 2 in, reprogrammed stuff, this and that, paid him the money, and I got on the road. Of course, before leaving, I checked every gear, including reverse, turned it on, off, turned it on again. And then he said, hey, if something happens from here, to Austin, where I was initially headed, he said, give me a call. We'll see if I could walk you through it, or if you're close enough, I could come out, or whatnot. So I appreciated that. I didn't talk to him about YouTube, so I wasn't going to throw out the company name or his name, but he was a great guy, and got me up and running. And the only parts were those 2 10-amp fuses that he had and put in. Now, I am going to say, after getting on the road, 30 minutes later, I stopped and checked. My trailer, brake lights, and blinkers are no longer working. Well, I'm certainly not going to mess with pulling out, like, maybe a fuse he put in that fixed it, because I don't know if I could short it out again. So unless I'm right next to the Ford dealer where in the next big city I'm at, I'll maybe stop and check that. Or, at least somebody with a mechanic, a decent sized city, I should say, because I do want to get those working again. But if it is the fuse, that means something's tripped the fuse. If it was just the missing fuses and he put them in and they're working, why did they trip again? So I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about that. But again, even if I stop at an auto parts place, get the fuses, take them out, put them in, it's probably just gonna trip again because of some short or issue somewhere along in the electrical. And I risk setting off my auto lock emergency theft deterrent, which I don't know how I did that. So, long story short, I did make it up to Buc-ee's. I'm going to throw that video footage in next, so you could see my brief Buc-ee's video in New Braunfels, Texas, just a little north and east of San Antonio.